there goes our airlock. Now tell them what you did there.
So what I did is I simply just drilled a hole in the side and put a spigot on it, so I don't have to siphon it out, so I can just pour it out. And all the sediment's going to be under there, so I don't have to worry about any of that. And that's what I did. But now I have to worry about getting the lid off, which...
These lids are a little bit of a booger.
Yeah. Do you know a good way to get them off?
They make a tool.
I'm sure they do.
This is the batch you did, what, a couple weeks ago?
This is, yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
So
Definitely doing
the
it.
issue is if you do it wrong, it's no fill out?
No, what it will do is it will mix your sediment on the bottom back up in your beer, so you'll just have a little bit more sediment that will end up. You're going to get some sediment down here from the yeast because we're going to do natural carbonation. You're not doing what we call forced carbonation, where we would use a CO2 tank. You're going to put some priming sugar in the bottle, and the yeast is going to chew up that priming sugar. And so that yeast is going to replicate, and it's going to form a little white ring down on the bottom, and your hops are going to be in there. So you may have a little bit of hop residue in here. So when you go to pour your beers, just be real careful and start pouring. And once you see the white residue start coming up the bottom, then stop. If you're worried about that and you want some extra B vitamins, go ahead and dump them in. It's just a Hefe, right? The Hefeweizen has got a lot of yeast in it.
Ta-da!
Is this a Hefe or?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's saying if
What
you
we have?
include all that.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Your Hefeweizens don't, the yeast doesn't settle out, and that
Right,
gives
right.
it its cloudiness.
Right.
So you can see there's just a little bit of hop residue
Yeah.
floating in this beer.
I definitely had to shake it a little bit, so apologies. Yeah, and I'm really just gonna pour it into the beer. I'm not doing anything special. I say pour it into the beer, pour it into the
Did
bottle.
you already put sugar in there? Or?
So I've not done that yet.
Oh, okay.
These are cool. These are carbon drops.
Measured.
Pre-measured, one per
Nice.
bottle.
Huh.
Otherwise, it's about 3/4 of a teaspoon of sugar per bottle.
People thinking.
So you can either use the plastic bottle
Ask if anybody else wants to fill one.
with
Okay, does anybody want to come fill one?
Want to come fill a bottle?
It's not really that exciting, so I'd love for somebody to come try and do it.
I'll do one. All right.
Why not?
Is the same thing we're making now?
Yeah, so use this.
Wait, this is already done. Yeah.
I have most of my half the way.
We'll fill that in a
Yeah,
second.
yeah. We're just too many months.
Oh, I can't compare. Yeah.
Yep, that way. Trick is closing it before it spills on the floor.
So there's a couple different things in here. You're good?
No worries at all.
The dead size.
Kagan made the comment of
Whoops.
So be
I
it.
told you.
Spigot 101.
a little goes a long way, and that's going to happen.
No
And
worries.
what I do
Oh, yeah.
every time I bottle beer is I'll put a towel down where I'm bottling, because I do that every time. I can't keep from doing it because I have a hard time seeing the bottle feel.
Oh, yeah.
And some bottles are darker than others, and you can't see through them, so it happens quite a bit.
A tip I learned from YouTube was to have your bucket on your counter over your dishwasher and have your dishwasher door open.
Great idea.
That's smart.
It saved me a little mess.
That's a great idea. There are siphons that have a spring on the bottom too, that when you push down it comes out, and then as you get close to stopping and you lift up, the spring closes it and quits it from running. Those bottle fillers are really nice.
Yep, we have them right here.
There we go.
There's a little thing on the bottom so it stops when we pull it out.
So you just take plastic tubing from here to your spigot and
Again, for a first thing.
Ooh, good job.
Good job.
Good job.
Right, Jeff?
Pardon?
Who's
For
next?
our first thing, this is all we need.
Yeah, oh yeah, everything, what you have in your kits is everything to make this batch.
And I have sanitizer at home too, so then I have to use that as well.
Yep, so that's everything.
So
you need.
after I do my boil,
Don't get
when you get ready to put this in here, that's when you sanitize everything.
So
Nah.
you got everything still in your pot. You want to go ahead and sanitize that fermenter, either the bucket or the glass jars. You want to go ahead and sanitize your airlock and get it good and sanitized. And then you're going to just pour Or if you want to buy an auto siphon or a siphon, you can siphon from your boil kettle into your fermenter, or you can just pour it. Some people will even use a tea strainer, and they'll pour through a tea strainer or like a colander to get some of the hops and that out. But you have to sterilize it too.
Right. Yeah, it sterilize everything. Once the boil is done, everything has to be
Everything's
sterilized. Okay.
Yep. And we'll even dump our bottle caps in sterilizer.
Right. And the bottles as well.
And the bottles. So that's why it's good to have plenty of star sand,
Yeah.
because you can make something to dump into your bottles.
Well, I won it in the one of the past homebrewing. Because I was a steward. So.
It goes a long way.
The other thing is if you buy oxygen absorbing caps, so there are caps that will absorb oxygen from the headspace here, do not boil them. Just dump them in star sand, because boiling them inactivates the oxygen absorbing compound.
I think all of ours are
Every single
oxygen
one,
absorbing. They all have it in the name. They're all those colors up there.
All right, so use star sand. Don't put them in water on the stove that's boiling, because it will inactivate that, and so it defeats the purpose. They'll be sterile, but it's not going to absorb any oxygen here out of the headspace. And to be honest, a little bit of oxygen that's in here, an ideal field. This is an ideal field. You want about an inch below the top, just enough headspace there, because what you need a little bit of oxygen for the yeast, but not a lot. And then as it produces CO2, it's going to exchange that CO2 with some oxygen.
Are you perfect at stopping it, like doing that yet? Or
So-
you're like me, overflow it and.
Well, if you overflow and you get like way up here, that's not the end of the world. But if it's boiling over, then I would dump a little bit out, so I have just a smidge of headspace. If you get up to here, that's not the end of the world. But if you're down here this low, this is going to be a little too much.
Should you pick up the only one I didn't do well this time?
He's
Purpose,
gonna,
on purpose.
gonna
Oh,
judge
it's a
you
good
here.
thing.
Okay, you're not.
It's educational.
Even on purpose. but
Even
like-
like this one, I would like to try to top it off,
Yeah,
but if
a
I
little more.
couldn't, it wouldn't be the end of the world. If you can't, it's no big deal. So, do we have
Yeah, I was
some
gonna see if I
open?
had some more.
We should have a pack of these open.
We should. I might
I've
have.
never seen this.
We're eating some.
Andy, much better than.
Those-
This has been the most
That's very good.
educational class I've done. I've done this 3 times now. And made no beer.
You should think about like.
Thanks to Dr.
vacation or
Jeff.
Something like that.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
And I have
use them for
vacation
vacation.
next week, so I'm definitely gonna try this at least once.
You need those
So
guys?
it's-
All right,
Help
so.
your cough, right?
So if you don't have these or you run out, you can use table sugar, you can use dry malt extract. Any of those things will work as priming sugars. You can use even molasses.
Let everybody
dry
try.
molasses. You can
Let everybody
use-
do it.
Yeah, you guys. Why don't?
Everybody should do
Interactive.
it, yeah.
Interactive.
How do I go about doing that?
Just did we do it at the bar last time? Or we can do it here?
Yeah, we're just gonna do it. I'm getting everybody one.
So
So everybody take one of these. Pass this around and take one.
Are they little cubes? Oh,
They
it
are.
is.
and
Okay.
just put them in your beer
They're
bottle.
little sugar pills, basically.
I had no idea. Thank you.
Placebos.
Thank you.
We're gonna get you a cap. We're gonna show you how to cap it. I'll hand these out if you want to
I'm
get.
not even a science experience right now.
No. I think everybody's got one.
Everybody got one?
Yep.
And you got one to demonstrate.
Oh, one for me.
Might even have 2. There's an extra here.
So,
So
you
one for
see
you,
that
2.
creamy colorness on the bottom?
Yeah, wow.
That's your yeast cake. So you could pitch another beer on top of that, and that yeast will then kick off and ferment the next beer. Or you could swirl it around.
Okay.
See how chunky it is?
Yep.
Now I could dump that in the mason jar and keep it for a couple weeks in the fridge, and then make my beers with a couple weeks.
Oh. Boy, so long. I'm not doing anything else calls me.
This is the complicated part.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm waiting for him to tell me
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do it.
This is like putting a fence in a stick, yeah, exactly. Like that was
So we're
the trick.
disinfecting, and these things are really nice because you just put your bottle cap on your thing. This is going to push down and hold your bottle cap in place, and then you're going to just kind of pliers it and go like this. The reason that you don't use twist offs is that area is so thin. When you crimp it like this, it will snap right in here, and then you got glass shards down in the bottle.
All right, so I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. So what I did is I just put some sanitizer in here with the caps, just to sanitize them. So and then I poured it out. So that's all I did. Not sure the best way to do it. but
Contact is only like 30 seconds needed on Star Sand. It's really quick contact.
So have that's what I said. It's okay. No, if you put 2 in there, it blows up. So don't do that. Don't do that. All right, it's the moment of truth and see what I do. It has a little magnet thing, so you'll have to.
Nice.
You'll feel
Beer.
you'll feel a lot of
Carbonated beer.
resistance.
I think everybody.
You'll feel a lot of resistance, and then it'll
Alright.
ease up.
Yep.
And once you feel
Alright,
it ease
alright.
up, you know you're
Alright,
past the
alright.
crown.
It's in.
Do your thing.
All right. So.
And then,
I'll stand in there.
does it
We have
need
plenty
to-
of those if
does
you
it need
want.
to do anything else after you bottle it?
Yes.
Got it.
There you
Good
go.
question, Mindy.
It's
So
crimped up
once
there.
it is bottled, what it needs to do is set at room
Make me-
temperature for about a week to 2 weeks.
Okay.
So in a week to 2 weeks,
Probably then.
the yeast is going to ferment this sugar and make a little more alcohol, but the CO2 that you want to give it that carbonation. Once you go 2 weeks, then you can put them in your refrigerator, cool them down, and start drinking them.
Okay.
So let them go 2 weeks at room
Thank you.
temp.
Make sure to throw the thingy in.
Right?
That is the most important
Oh, I
thing.
know. Thank you.
Yep.
Spread it open.
If you have an infection in a beer, sticking it in the fridge will slow the
I'm so
infection.
scared to do it. Oh, here we go.
It'll be all right. There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the other reason why we like to say
Yeah,
after-
taking it off is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh.
That's the other reason why we like to say after 2 weeks, it's
I'll
bottle
hold it.
condition, get them in the fridge, because if you have any mild infection, it's gonna really slow it down, and you'll probably drink the beer before you get it too bad.
That makes sense.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
So, disinfectant may be needed, bottle capper may be needed. The Star Sand is $6, cappers for $10. Caps are how much?
I think they're $5 a pack, and there's 144 in a pack.
So that go a long ways.
Sorry, I'm slow.
You got a capper and everything.
Gross style bottles or flip top bottles, you bypass all that stuff, and it's got a rubber stopper. You put your priming sugar in, and you put these on. But these red stoppers go bad after a while, and you got to replace the red stoppers. And these don't seal nearly, in my opinion, they don't seal nearly as good as a bottle cap does.
Okay.
So if you're really trying to go for a high effervescent beer like a Belgian or a Miller Light Clone or something like that that's got a lot of fizz, I would probably go with that than these. If you're going for a British style, remember over there where they pump them, they're really low CO2. So a bitter or something like that, these work really nice for something along those lines that you don't have a lot of carbon in them.
So with this, so would you do it this way or do it that way?
I
Doesn't
would
matter.
I would say it doesn't matter. If it was my very first batch,
Oh,
I would use the plastic bottles.
Oh, even that thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, easy peasy.
If you're, and the reason I would do that is if you just happen to not get a good fermentation and it didn't get all the way done, and then you add priming sugar, and then you cap it, you could run the risk of bottle bombs.
Yeah, there is.
Once you know that it's gone through, if you
Yeah, go ahead.
split the lid on a plastic bottle like
Do you know
that,
where the
and you
magnet
notice it's not gushing out. So if you get an infection or over carbonation, as soon as you pop the lid, it'll start erupting.
So there wasn't.
So
It'll
it all
just
worked
foam
really
off.
well.
You were a boss. That's what it means. Because magnets.
Yeah, magnet's supposed to work. I
You're supposed to
promise.
glue it.
I promise it's supposed to work. Yep.
We got 100 of those, and you picked the broken
More
one.
if I tried right now.
And if you're serious,
I was like, have beers.
yeah, go for it.
All you. I hate doing this.
You hate
And
it.
if you're
Why?
Well, so I actually
I'm
brewed,
nervous because
I brewed 28 gallons in my house, and I bottled all of it.
Look at
And there's
that.
200 something
That's
beers,
trouble.
and
you get.
I got pretty sick of it. So.
Yeah.
If you're really serious, I would step up and I would get the one that is, it's, I don't know if it's a French one, I can't remember, but
Yeah.
the handle slides up and down to be able to do bigger bottles and smaller bottles, and you can screw it down to a board or to a table, and so you can just, and actually you can have your